Hey everyone, Bill here. All right, so today I'm doing kind of like basically a revision on the setting up your rotary, but this is more towards the steps per rotation part of it. My machine, after messing around today, I figured out that it was still off on the steps per rotation, and how I figured it out was I was doing a double-sided engraving on a cup with a handle, and the engraving came out. One side was centered, but the other side, it was off. It was kind of close to the handle, and it didn't look right. It didn't look great. And obviously that's not a product I want to give to my customers. So, and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. All right. Okay, so here's the cup. I am holding it, looking at it straight, and you can see that it's off to the left a little bit more than what it should be. Okay, it's not centered. Right here, you can see it actually looks centered, and actually no, it's still kind of off to the left a little bit. So anyway, you see my point though, right? It's not perfectly centered. There was two things to that. One of them was my steps per rotation was off, and the other was I probably didn't have this mounted up right on the chuck. I'm putting it with the handle down, but I had no way at the time. I didn't quite know how to get it perfectly down without having to look through the side door and look at it and see to make sure that the handle was perpendicular to the floor, and even then it's still no guarantee. So this new method I'm going to show you, I just did it today. I tested it and it seemed to actually work very great. So what I used was this jig I made, thanks to a guy in the Boss Laser group I'm part of. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he posted a picture of this and had mentioned it, and man, lifesaver. So thank you for that. So anyway, stick this in here. Okay, you got your little diamonds, and I'll show you how to make this jig here in a minute. But anyway, once you get the jig made, you put the diamonds, you put one diamond, and it doesn't matter how it goes in, as long as your diamonds are lined up. But you make sure that this diamond over here is about in the middle of the handle, okay? So in the middle of the handle there. And let me get this on a tripod real quick. Apologize. I'm not a great video. Just realized I accidentally cut off that video. So anyway, all right. So we've got it in here, right? That looks about centered to the handle on this diamond. So now, if we're doing double-sided engraving, we want to come to this diamond right here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to mark. Sorry, this is really hard for me to do because I don't have another person to hold the camera for me. You want to put your pencil right at the tip of that diamond and just do a little line, a little mark, okay? And you can see it there. There's my mark. And I can make it a little bit more prominent if I want to. But there it is. And then when we mount this to the chuck, we'll mount it with the handle down, and then obviously center the laser to that mark right there. Now, if you're doing just a single-sided engraving, okay, you can come to whatever side you want to do. If you're going to engrave this side, or if you want to engrave this side, same thing. Find your diamond of whichever side you're wanting to engrave, okay, and then put your little mark. Okay, so there's my mark. All right. Make it a little bit more darker so I can see it kind of better. All right, now I'll show you how I mount it in the chuck here. Okay, I'm gonna move my laser head over real quick. I've got it kind of slow because I'm not good at jogging it when it's fast to get it centered up where I need it at. All right, so now okay, I get it kind of tight. I move this over to where the mark is at, and then all I do is I just loosen it up and turn the cup itself, because my laser head and everything is already centered on the y-axis, until that mark is right underneath the laser dot. And then I tighten it back up. Boom. Ready, obviously set your origin, right? So you still got to center left to right. So once you get it centered left to right, we'll just say that's the center. Set your origin on the pad, Okay, remember, origin, press that. And then you're ready to rock, man. So how I have it set up right now with the handle down, this is set up for double-sided engraving. If I was doing single-sided engraving, obviously, you know, it would either be in this position or 180 degrees from that position. But same thing, you just move, instead of moving the chuck, okay, you move the cup. So loosen it up, move the cup, center it over, you know, just like I showed you previously. So anyway, that is my new updated method for that. All right, so now I'm gonna show you how to make that jig. So we're gonna come over here. All right, let me get the tripod again, actually. All right, so for this, to make the jig, I highly recommend getting a set of dial calipers because they're much more accurate than trying to do this with any kind of measuring tape or anything. All right, so you're gonna take your calipers, you're gonna open them up and measure the inner diameter of the opening of your cup, okay? And kind of move it around until you find the biggest part on, you know, your reading here. So it looks like about right there's as much as it's going to get. Okay, so that is 3.166 ish, sorry. Yeah, 3.166 inches. So, you know, roughly that's what you'll make your tools. So anyway, all right, now that that's done, we're gonna come over here to light burn. Sorry, this mount on my tripod's like really tight, so it's hard to smoothly take it on and off. So, all right, light burn. All right, ignore all that other stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw a circle, right? You can hold Control Shift at the same time, and when you draw your circle, it'll become a perfect circle, but since I'm using one-handed, I just drew it. I'm gonna turn off my lock and make it, I'm gonna do 0.1 inch and 0.1 inch. Okay, really tiny circle. But this is where we're gonna use these to our advantage to do, figure out our steps per rotation, all right? So, I'm trying to think of which cup I can use. We'll just go with this one for now. Actually, no. All right, so don't use this style of cup, the ring necks, the 20-ounce ring necks, because it's got a slight taper to it. What you want to use, what I recommend to use, is a cup that's at least got a section that's the same diameter all the way around, okay? The Pilsner's a good one. You can use the handle one. I would stay away from that if you're a beginner. That way you don't accidentally ram the handle into the head of your machine. So definitely one of these. And as you can see, oh, never mind. I already cleaned them off. So tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and mark this back up and I'll come back here in just a minute. Actually, I forgot. So what you wanna do is you wanna mark this cup up, all right? So you're gonna use your jig again. I know it says 15-ounce mug, but it fits in this 20-ounce Pilsner pretty good, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use this, all right? And what you're gonna do, I'm gonna do it off camera, but you're gonna mark the points of all 4 diamonds, okay? All 4 of them. You're gonna mark on the side of the cup where those points are at, and then we're gonna add some tape here in a minute, and I'll show you that when I get to it, all right? Okay, so what I did on the cup, I got all 4 parts marked. Whoops, you can barely see that pencil mark, but you get the idea, right? There's that pencil mark. There's that pencil mark. And that one. So I stuck a piece of tape right below all the pencil marks. The next thing you're gonna do, you're gonna need a square. Doesn't have to be exactly like this one. As long as you have a square of some sort, you should be good. But this is gonna be really hard for me to do here, so I apologize. Anyway, what you're gonna do, put it flat on the top of the cup, and then line the edge of your square up with the pencil mark that you made, okay? I can't see. Let me get this out of here so I can hold it better. All right. I don't know if you can see that. So you see, you line it up with your pencil mark, and then I'm gonna do this off camera. I'm sorry. So you get it lined up, and then you draw your straight line like that. Okay. Line it up, and then mark it. All 4 pieces of tape. Mark them all, and try to get them as spot on with that line as you can. Okay, that's really important for the steps per rotation. You want to try to be as accurate as possible. And if you don't know what the steps per rotation is, my previous video that I did about setting up the rotary kind of explains it, but it's to help make sure that whenever you do like a circular design or anything on a cup, that it comes out looking like a circle and not like an oval egg or, you know, something like that. Okay, so I've got, you can see I marked all 4 spots on the cup. All right, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do with that. So also too, I have a video talking about double-sided engraving on the cups, where I made these boxes, that blue box right there where it says 15-ounce coffee mug, sorry, not bad focus, to use for double-sided engraving. As you can see, I was doing one earlier. So but anyway, so we're working with the 20-ounce Pilsner. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of that, and I'm gonna come over here. I got a whole slew of them that I made. I'm gonna find my 20-ounce Pilsner, 20-ounce ring neck. There it is, 20-ounce Pilsner. Copy, come over here, we're gonna paste. Okay, so you want this for your double-sided engraving because it'll help ensure that you get your steps per rotation correct. All right, so here's that little 0.1 inch circle I made, 0.10, you know, 1,000th or 10th of an inch, I should say. And we're gonna drag this to our first box here. Snap right in the center, cool. We're gonna hit Control-C to copy. Come over here outside of the box, we're gonna paste, and then we're gonna drag that one to the center on the 3rd box, because we've broken the cup up into quarters with these boxes. So 180 degrees from the first one is gonna be in the 3rd box, all right? Okay. And then what we're gonna do, sorry, we've got both of them selected. Again, we're gonna do user origin and use selection origin, okay? I'm gonna mount this in the chuck now. Same process as before, okay? When you mount it, you're just gonna stick it in here, move the laser head over to whichever line, and then you just turn the cup until it's lined up under the light like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this mounted, and I'll be right back. Okay, so in the other video I had, you know, I was talking about changing your steps per rotation here. You're gonna start with a beginner number. I can't remember what it is for the 1420, which is what I have. I think it's like 6185 or something like that, but you're gonna start with whatever number it is. I would say around 6185, and then you're gonna have to adjust from there just based on you know, how your machine is set up. So anyway, we're gonna do that. We're gonna update this to the correct object diameter. I have all my sheet information written down here. So 15-ounce mug, so 3.406 is the diameter that I measured. So we're gonna come over here, and actually that is already set up. I forgot I was just messing with that 15-ounce mug, so we're gonna leave that alone, cancel out of it. All right, so we're gonna engrave these little circles on the tape, but we don't want, so if you don't have a cup for the graveyard yet, the tape's gonna be your best friend here, and we're gonna set this up so that way it doesn't engrave through the tape. 350, and then 11% power on both, and then 0.065 on your interval. Okay. All right, so we got those selected. We're doing double-sided here. As you can see, I've got this lined up on that. I'm gonna hit origin. Now we're 0. Close this down. And we're gonna turn on our air here. And we're gonna start it. Come over here and start. We're gonna let it do its thing. And I'll turn the video back on once it's done. So, I apparently didn't mark something. I probably, because I'm rushing through, I just hurry up and marked it, but you can see where that one's at. And then we go 180 degrees, and you see where that one's at. I'm not gonna mess with it, because earlier when I did this, I took my time, and the engraved circle was right in the middle of the line here on this side, and then it was right in the middle of the line on the other side. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that this circle is on the line, or at least, if not on the line, you want to make sure that it looks exactly the same. Okay, so that one's to the right of the line on that one. And as you can see, it's to the left of the line on that one. But as I mentioned before, you know, I rushed through marking the 4 points on this. I may not have lined them up right, but earlier when I did it, this was directly over the line, and the 180 degrees from it was directly over the line. Okay, so that is one way that you can do it to get your steps per rotation. Now, if it's off like this when you're doing it and you're taking your time and you're confident in your markings and how you have it lined up, then you adjust your numbers up or down and pay attention when you do it. So let's say that's bad, right? And I need to fix it. So all I got to do is move my laser head down a little bit and then press the origin key again and adjust the numbers and then re-engrave it and see where it's at after that. So you know, you have to adjust them up or down to get to the proper lineup on that. Okay, but once you get it done correctly, as you can see, that one, it looks centered up on this side, and then flip it around, looks centered up on that side. Okay, perfect. It doesn't look like that one that I showed you earlier that I was having some trouble with. So that is a much easier way if you don't have any boneyard cups yet, like I do, and you don't want to ruin a cup. Use the tape, high speed, low power, and it should not burn through. If you're still concerned, double or triple up your tape layers, and that way you don't have to worry about ruining a cup. Also, in my other video that I posted, I talked about the line test. So once you get that set up and your marks are dead on where they need to be, and you do actually have a cup that you messed up, you know, you can use it like I did here and do what's called the circle test. So I went into Lightburn, I drew a 1.5 inch circle, okay? And as you can see, it looks just like a circle, as it should. And then you can measure it and see, you know, sorry, but it's kind of hard to do with one hand here. But anyway, I used this and it was, let me get the tripod, I'm sorry. Just mount it up again. We're gonna go over here. That's my little helper there, Luna. So anyway, I'll put it on the very edge. Sorry, I'll focus here. There we go. Put it on the very edge, and boom, we got 1.5 inches. Okay, measure it top to bottom. Boom, 1.5 inches. So I know my steps per rotation is on, because this is a perfect circle as it should be. And you know, the marks that I engraved on the tape earlier lined up with the marks that I made on the other cup that I did. Oh, so anyway, the jig. I apologize. completely forgot all about the jig. So I can't remember what I said. Let me delete this here. What I said the measurement was on the cup measurement. So I'm going to import. What did I call it? All right, I'm gonna cut this off so you don't have to watch me look for it. I'm gonna try to find it and then I'll come back on here. So, all right, so what you do, that measurement that we took earlier, I can't remember what it was, and this is probably gonna be different than what I took earlier. Anyway, so you draw a perfect circle to whatever the diameter is. On this one, I've got 3.19 inch. And so you draw your perfect circle, and then you're gonna draw a perfect square. That's what these ones here are. I just have them rotated 45 degrees. 5. So I'm just turning it back to a perfect square so you can see. All right, so look at it. They're both the same number, so you can see it's a perfect square. And I'm gonna rotate it 45 degrees to make it a diamond, okay? And then what you can do is you snap it, and then once you get that crosshair, you know it's in the center from left to right on that circle, okay? Now, I had done this, this outer circle was originally a little bit smaller, and on the original jig I did, the tip of the diamond, I couldn't really see it because it was cut off from the laser cutting this out. So what I did is I just I took and I highlighted, I highlighted all of these, okay, all of these diamonds, and then I held Control and grabbed this and I shrunk it down a little bit, and it brought it in, you know, to where it was just inside of the ring like that. So I'm gonna undo it until it gets to that point again where it was originally. There we go. And then these are just like little thumb holes I did. They believe they're 3/4 of an inch. Yep. So 2 of them, 3/4 of an inch. All I did to make sure these were in the right spot was I grabbed it, okay, I snapped it to that bottom diamond, and then I just pushed the down arrow key once, boom. And then same thing for this other one. You know, I snapped it to the bottom of this diamond and then pushed the up arrow key once and then put it there. This, you don't have to put that in there. I just put it in, you know, for my own preference. But then that's it. And then of course these are score. So I think it was like 20 on speed and 12 or 13 on power. And the same for this. That way it doesn't cut all the way through. And then this was the line to cut completely out on these. So of course your end result is your jig here. And yeah, so you use that to make everything really simple. I hope this really helps. I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you guys something. I don't know what it is, but hopefully this video helps. If there's anything I didn't address, please let me know, and I can hopefully make another video to address it and help someone else out in the future. But thanks for watching, and have fun lasering.